Hey, family. Hey, hey, hey. I have been around, but not on the computer. So I just want to share with y'all. I told you about this book, okay, Handbook to Higher Consciousness. And you see where I am. I'm almost done. Well, maybe not. Um, I'm going to share something with you today because, I mean, the whole book is blowing my mind. And it is in alignment with where I am energetically. And I thought I cut off everything so as to help my computer run. But these are all the parts that we're learning. Probably need to shut down all this stuff. Got a lot of junk open in the background, and I know that slows your computer down. So that seems to have helped. So, I've been doing a lot of inside personal inner work because, quite frankly, I've been facing the things that I've been hiding and running from. What I mean by that is things that I did not realize were impacting myself and my relationships with people. I didn't think that I had a problem. But when I start to really, really look deeply in the mirror and within myself, I see a lot of work to be done. Well, in this particular book, Ken Keyes refers to that, and I'm just sharing with you because I'm so excited. In here, he refers to those things. Let me get my little notes because I've been like tearing up the book. Love to go book book shopping. Addictions are like those negative emotions that we hold on to, that we think somebody else has caused us to feel that kind of way. Now, you might be in a different space, but I'm sharing with where I am because I see the connection between when I get in my panties in a bunch around stuff that irritates me or whatever that I'm not willing to let go of when dealing with mom and some of her things that she can't help, it helps me. And I tell you what, this y'all, if y'all can get your hands on this book, well, it's this way. Get your hands on this book. I'm just saying, if you are ready to move forward and go deep within yourself, and it's not all pretty, I'm going to just say that because we got some crap up in us that we choose to hold on to. And I tell you, carrying extra baggage is heavy. And once you release that stuff, or at least become attuned to it and start to be aware that, oh, okay, um, I guess I can let go of this stuff, it becomes so much easier. So I want to read something to you, and I know this is like in chapter 19. It's called How to Recognize Your Addictions. And we're not it's not more so like for pharmaceutical addictions, alcohol addictions, but many of these events happen as a result of some of those addictions. Okay, those people tend to be, and this is, I'm not from a social worker standpoint. I'm just a Tammy trying to figure this thing out called life on this plane. And I'm sharing what I learned because it's bringing me so much more happiness, because happiness is not outside of me. It's not a purse, it's not a clothes, it's not a car, it's not a house, it's not any of that stuff, because wherever I go, there I am. And so if I'm not happy here, if I'm not happy in California, if I'm not happy in New York, if I'm not happy in Ohio, I'm the common denominator. It's me that needs to do the internal work. And so I'm going to not be up on this too long. But if there's something that I cover, because like I said, this is chapter 19, please do inbox me and say, hey, can you go deeper on that? I'm going to try to give you the um, foundation of how the book began, but I need you to hear this because if it's impacting me, I'm sure it's impacting you, because guess what? We're not that far a part in what's going on in our lives. We may live in a different abode, we may live in a different city, we may work in different jobs, but let me tell you, we are going through, especially as women, we are going through a lot of the same things. So, when I use the word addictions, it's that anger, that fear. And quite frankly, when you smile, your body releases a certain neurochemical and chemicals, biochemicals. When you are grunny and those people who look like they had nails and then they had some, staples and yeah, they are also releasing a chemical. And just as we can be addicted to caffeine, you can be addicted to those um, chemicals that your body releases. You get people who work out, they are addicted to the adrenaline high that they get once they are finished working out. So, if we start there, stick with me on this, what I'm going to read to you. And I am giving credit to Ken Keyes, may peace be upon him, Jr., for have written this in multiple books. Handbook to Higher Consciousness. Higher consciousness meaning vibrating at a higher frequency. Um, and if you want to take a visual of that, if we are here on the earth, we're at a low frequency. As you increase your frequency, just think you're elevating yourself to a higher frequency, higher consciousness. Because muck and mire, crabs in a bucket mentality, that's not even a part of the um, piece as far as when you are at an elevated, higher vibrating frequency. Okay. So, again, I'm using that as a visual when you are close to the earth. And as you ascend, you tend to, things don't bother you because you don't have time for that, right? I don't have time for no craziness because it's not even in my realm of where I choose, let me say, where I choose to function. Okay, so let me turn that phone down. Sorry about that. Gotta remember to turn that sucker back on because then I'll be like, why is nobody reaching out to me? Okay, it's doing a whole bunch of stuff now. Okay, it's off. My apologies. All right, I'm excited to share this with you all. And I don't know what this frame thing is, keep popping up on my screen, but it's irritating me. That's an addiction because it's not going the way that I want to go. Thank you, computer. Thank you. So basically, an addiction is something that irritates you, that you can't just flow through it. Like there's some constriction, there's some hesitation, there's some tightness. And so what I would invite you to do is as you go through your day or after you listen to this or multiple times after you listen to this, see how your body feels when somebody says something, does something, you know, to you in the car. That's where I'm working. I am doing much better. Someone cuts you off. Okay, we don't know what they have going on. They could be texting. Hmm, they could be in a rush. They could have somebody in there they trying to get to the emergency room. We don't know what's going on with them. And so we impose our stuff, our beliefs, our baggage on them because we think they should be operating on our timeline. And that's just not going to happen. So since we can't change all that, we can't change anybody but ourselves, what we are invited to do and encouraged to do, I try to stay away from the shoulds, coulds, woulds, is to change ourselves and look at what we can do differently because I can't change anybody out there. I can't change anybody outside in the outside world. All I have control over is myself. And as I'm learning this, I'm realizing that I was a little reckless at the wheel. So, all right. I want to pose to you a scenario so that might help you. Um, and I'm going to preface it with this. Love changes everything. Now, everybody's definition of love is a little different because we got our belief system from our parents, and they got theirs from their parents, and so on and so on. And so they might be a little skewed and jacked too. Because if, and let's just say it, if you come from a family where there's some kind of abuse in there, they call that love. But once you get outside of your that area, you realize that what they thought was love, what you thought in your family and your lineage was love, is really not love. And so you have to reprogram. You'll hear me say that word a lot. Your belief system, or you'll have to reprogram that in your system, in your brain, that kind of love and what you experience outside, and you gonna have to go through some steps to get to that. It's definitely not an easy process, and you have to redefine, recalibrate, and reprogram what you see as love. Okay, so um remind yourself at every opportunity that love and expanded consciousness is enough, but they have to be deep and genuine and flow from your inner being. So I want to preface it with that, because I can be fake and be like, "Hey, girl, how you doing?" And turn around and you be like, "Ah, girl, I can't stand her." Blah, blah, blah. That's not genuine. That's not authentic. When it comes from you, you literally glow. You just don't have room for the nonsense. You let it go and it feels so good. You don't even want to go back. So, suppose your friend, I don't know, no, well, I do know some Marys, but this is not Mary. So I'm going to just say, suppose your friend X, let's just say X, enjoys making a fish chowder and puts a lot of pepper to make it hot and spicy. Suppose also that you cannot enjoy chowder when has that much pepper. And they talk about some different methodologies and techniques in here. So it advises you to communicate your feelings, to tell her, Mary, that you cannot enjoy the chowder when it has so much pepper. Now, I know this scenario is very simplistic. And you'd be like, "Oh, ain't about nothing about no chowder." It's not really about the chowder. Okay. Stick with me, roll with me, and just listen to the scenario, because you can put anything else in the scenario and it's still going to work. Um, so suppose Mary replies that it is better to put the pepper in when it's cooking so that it can become blended. Okay, I get that. If you work from your levels of power, okay, so low vibration versus, and you get higher as you go up. So if you are working from um, a high level, it's not going to bother you. I'm going to get there. But if you're working from a low level, because they say money, sex, and power are the issues. So really, what that comes down to is the security and power, right? If I'm not feeling safe, then I'm going to try to flex and exert my power. So if I'm working from the power, like I'm trying to tell Mary how to cook her meal, right? It's going to end up in an argument, and it's going to point out that the taste is as good. Mary's going to say the taste is as good with the pepper added later for each individual. That's what I'm wanting, because I don't like the pepper. But Mary's like, well, it works better if I cook it with the pepper because it can get blended within the meal. Simple. Okay. The Mary will mirror your annoyance. So if I'm saying, take it out, cook it special for me, and then, for the other people, Mary's going to be annoyed. And then I'm going to be annoyed because I want it my way. She wants it her way. Soon, the love, the peace, and the serenity are not there. Okay. If Mary accepts my attempt to dominate the situation to fit my inside pattern, she's going to leave out the pepper but feel really resentful for her. Okay. She's going to feel resentment toward me because I want it a special way. Now, she might concede and do it, but she's not really liking it. So think about in your life, in your household this morning. What did you concede to, but you really was like, ah, right? Okay. She might leave the pepper out, but she feels resentment toward you. And you will have your less pepper, but you're also going to have less love with your meal. So it's not going to be enjoyable because okay, I can see she's a little pissed off at me because I asked her to keep the pepper out. So she did it, but she's really not feeling it, yada, yada, yada. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Now, suppose you handle the problem of the pepper in the chowder with the complete knowledge that love and expanded consciousness is enough. So you had previously communicated your feelings about how the pepper keeps me, from enjoying the chowder. If Mary serves the chowder again, your love and expanded consciousness will tell you that it's more flowing to test it with a single sip, okay? And then concentrate on enjoying the people that are there and the salad and everything else that's around you. Don't focus on the pepper. Just steer your ship around the rock and gently and lovingly flow on. Y'all see where I'm going with this. So don't put out the vibration that you cannot enjoy the chowder because of the pepper. This is just causing irritation in yourself and Mary. I'm paraphrasing. Completely accept the fact that you are not supposed to be eating the chowder that night. Maybe tonight is not the night for me. And go ahead and enjoy whatever there is to enjoy. If they got salad and dessert and whatever, do that instead. Life isn't pivoting on some pepper in a chowder. Do not put out any feelings that could make Mary uncomfortable because, or X, I said, I was going to call her, uncomfortable because you are sacrificing yourself and not eating the chowder. Just flow as though the chowder had never been served. So think about in your life, what could you just sort of navigate the ship around that rock? You don't have to go through and hit the rock and then cause all these problems. If you love Mary just as much as she does, um, if you can love Mary just as much when she does not follow your request to leave out the pepper, it is very likely that your love and expanded consciousness will enable you to enjoy unpeppered chowder the next time. For Mary is a conscious being, and she will notice that you are not eating the chowder. She will also notice your complete acceptance of this, and she will not be likely to get all upset about it. She will just accept that it is that which is. Mary will appreciate you not complaining repeatedly about putting in too much pepper. She may begin to feel that although she prefers putting in the pepper when it is cooking, she has a greater preference for your enjoyment of the chowder the next time. So you may find that Mary may quietly omit the pepper the next time she makes the chowder. If you can keep your consciousness completely free from that whole power struggle thing, then it will help Mary stay away from her power issue. And the simple matter of peppering the chowder will not become complex because of the ego stuff that you mirror back and forth. So let's recap. Okay. Um, oh, there's one more chapter. One more paragraph. And what if Mary does not choose to make the chowder the next time less peppery? You simply accept that as being a part of the here and nowness in your life. You're not supposed to be eating the chowder that she fixes it when she fixes it. This is not a great sacrifice. You may not be enjoying the chowder, but you're enjoying the love and the serenity of the environment around. Okay? You are helping Mary to enjoy peace, love, and serenity. And this is the greatest gift that you could give her. If you are addicted to chowder and you have to eat it, you can always go out and buy a cup for lunch tomorrow or make your own. You will find that your love and increased consciousness will always give you the optimal ways to veer around problems or lovingly eliminate it. Okay? My mom used to say, if you argue with an idiot, you're just as idiotic. Okay? And so, if you're feeling great, you ever notice when you're feeling real good, you just like, woo, nothing can bother me, right? Pay attention to how that feels. What did you do before and after? Or what are you not doing? Because a lot of times I found, and I'm speaking for me because I know that's everybody, I found that when I got something going on, I'm trying to take it out on everybody else. That's a crab in the bucket. Pull them down too. Pull them down. Oh, you having a good day? Or I'm having a pissy day to get started. So I want you to have a pissy day too. Just join me in my pissy party. That is not what's going to bring love. That's not going to bring resolution. That's not going to bring serenity. So, um, we can all learn from it, from going to the job, to that coworker that you just would rather go down the stairs and around down the hall to come up just to avoid that person. That's you. That's you. Because if I change and elevate my vibration, the people around me can do nothing but notice it and take heed and change their vibration. But you can't backslide. Now it's going to happen. Just do baby steps. You don't always have to come back and give, somebody says something. Like when I taught my fourth grade students, boy, I learned a lot from them. They always want to come back. And when we were kids, you always want to say that last word. There's a game called Say the Last Word for Me, but we're not trying to win points right here. We're just trying to have a loving, serene environment. So let go of the power plays. Because what do they do? So, do you want to be right or do you want to be happy? And sometimes you just need to button up your lips and not even say anything. It's the way, it's the energy in which you approach something. You can say anything to anybody, but it's the way in which you bring it. It's the energy in which you bring it. And so when I read this, I had to laugh because when your loved ones get to a certain point of, what time are we going? What time are we going? What time are we going to leave? What time did you say we're going to leave? Like, it's just go, 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 go. Same thing. Repeat, repeat, repeat. There are certain days they're going to be in that space. And boy, I could feel it just rising up. And so when I read that, I burst out laughing. I said, that's written specifically for you, Tamara. Because that let me know that I was not focused on her. So therefore, I was my undivided attention. She did not have my undivided attention. She was irritating me, I felt, because I was not comfortable with where I was and what I had going on. So pay attention. Pay attention to that, y'all. Sorry about the phone call. I try to do these when the phone's not ringing, but apparently I did not do a good job. That's not irritating me though, because I know that this is much more important. I'm sharing with you all. I'm purging and sharing with you so that we can in ourselves be more comfortable, and in our households be more comfortable, in our jobs be more comfortable, in our communities be more comfortable. Pay attention to what this crap is on the TV for voting. Is this who we really want to have in office, defending and standing, doing what we want? I'm happy because I know that there is a better way. And if just a few people, like they say, it only takes a spark to get a fire started. That was an old Girl Scout song we used to sing. I didn't understand what that thing was talking about, but I get it. I get it. Woo! It only takes a spark to get a fire started. So all we need is a few folks to start revving up their vibration authentically and genuinely, and it changes everything. But you got to do the work. It's hard, y'all, because you catch yourself. But you don't have to tell anybody that you're doing it. Just make the changes. Look in that mirror. What things are you liking about yourself? What things are you like, woo, girl, you need to fix that? Because it's not everybody else's problem. It really isn't. And when you do just a small little thing to change and you see how the people respond, you're like, ooh, that okay. All right. All right now, girl. You got it. Something I'm imparting to you because I love you all. Namaste.